So as part of the breeding programme, we take 20 progeny from each AI sire of interest into the centre here at Tully. And all the animals are housed indoors. And we're really after three key pieces of data. The first piece of data is feed intake. So we use these Instant boxes that you can see beside us, these blue boxes, and they record every feed intake that the animal has. And every night then it records the feed intake for that animal within a given day. And that's a key piece of information for us because that feeds then into the genetic evaluations for the terminal and replacement index. And we know in the terminal index, feed intake has a 16% weighting, and in the replacement index, it's 18%. So it's a very important piece of information to capture in terms of evaluating sires out there in the industry. So the second key piece of data that we record on the progeny of the Gene Ireland bulls is we look at their methane emissions. So we have green feed boxes that actually collect numerous greenhouse gases. It looks at ammonia, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, but methane is predominantly the one we're interested in because it's the most potent gas and it's 28 times more potent than CO2. So today we actually have records on 1,200 progeny of Gene Ireland bulls. And that information now is allowing us to assess the heritability of methane. And we know already that it is actually a highly heritable trait. So we can select animals in the future that can reduce the greenhouse gases of our national suckler herd by identifying the key bulls of interest. What we're seeing to date is a difference within breed of 20% between progeny of the same age and gender for methane emissions. So that's a key difference and a key reduction that can be made through breeding. And then the third key piece of data is that when all the animals are finished their test period in Tully, which is 90 days, they then go to be slaughtered in an abattoir. And during that time then we cut the carcass into 24 cuts of meat, so we can actually assess then the meat yield and the individual cuts coming from each of the progeny and then collate that back to their sire. But more importantly, we actually look at eating quality. And we do a number of predictors of eating quality. One be it that we actually scan the loin of the animal using ultrasonic scanning. And that gives us an assessment of the meat eating quality by looking at the amount of marbling in the meat, the amount of subcutaneous fat. And it also tells us a predictor of meat yield on the animal. When the animal then moves into the abattoir then, we record things like the pH of the carcass. We grade the carcass then for marbling when it's ribbed or quartered. And then when we're doing our full carcass dissection, when we're taking them 24 cuts of meat, we take the right-hand side of the strip line and we cut it into individual inch-thick steaks. And they go for sensory analysis, both consumer and trained panels. And what they're doing is tasting the meat, looking at traits such as tenderness, juiciness and flavour. And currently, we have an index for meat eating quality, which is available in all AI sires in the industry and will be available for all sires out there, stock bulls, etc. In midsummer.